Much. What did Ronnie? You have an operation it look like?
I think maybe did. What was you have some surgery?
Yeah, I had shoulder surgery. I was just telling her the story. I got two bulls that wanted to fight.
Oh.
They wouldn't listen to me, so they picked me up and threw me out the way.
They wouldn't listen to voice reason.
No, right.
Actually, I was being stupid.
Yeah, we weren't gonna say
When I knew I was
that.
being stupid, I couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Just picked me up and threw me across the road and landed on my shoulder.
Oh, man.
It totally sucked these two tendons up here.
Oh man.
And partially shredded my bicep.
Oh, my God.
That's all they had to do.
Reconstruct you.
Staple to the bone and kind of feather in the bicep muscle. So
Oh
that would
man.
be a month ago. Be 4 weeks on Thursday.
Oh,
since
wow.
that surgery. But it's, I tell everybody, if your shoulders hurt, make sure it really hurts. 'Cause it's,
That surgery
there's a lot of
thing.
nerves
Yeah,
up
that's
here.
right,
There's a lot of nerves
right.
up here.
I had mine done. Mine used to dislocate bad, so I had to have mine sewed back in. So it took me a year honestly before I was back to normal again. It was like you said, I'm pretty tough, but man, it was rough for a little bit.
Well, the therapist told me, he said, 6 months you'll feel better, but full recovery takes better.
Yeah, and like she said, 6 months you'll be good for sure, but you're not gonna be 100%. It took me a while to really actually realize I can do everything again.
But most of the work I do right now is a track. And everything on the track is on the
Oh, on the right. Yeah, that's right.
Even if I could take my left-handed shift and throttle and stuff, it's too low. I keep
Man, you're right. Everything, yeah.
that is like kills it.
Oh, yeah.
I can't reach the radio on my finger. I really can't.
Yeah.
Get to the starter.
Wow.
But
Wow.
you know, if you've done it,
Oh yeah, it was fun. They were like, oh yeah, about 3 months, and then it was a lot longer than 3 months. 3 months and you can move at least around again.
I was
But man,
worried it's like nonstop for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and finally the surgeon said, in the first post-op, he said, well, if you're around the house, you can take it off, cut your food and things like that. And then they finally, they said, well, you can do stuff as long as it doesn't hurt. But if you start doing stuff that hurts, stop.
they get you moving pretty quick though, right? Did you go right into therapy or?
Yeah, well, I went the day after post-op, so day 11, I was in therapy. And they said that was perfect.
Good, yeah, definitely, man. I'm glad they did that because it definitely helped out. I ended up freezing up at one point. And they had to go back in and do it again on me. So, but it was quick, so it worked out well that time.
Okay, it's after 7 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. I'm glad we had such a huge crowd tonight. It's always good when we only see one special person. Okay, so I call this meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order, and I determined that we have a quorum tonight. We have 4 members present. Ms. Willis was unable to be here tonight, being that she was out of town. So first item of business is adoption of the agenda. So we just need a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
I move we adopt the agenda.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and before we start into new business, any public comment relevant at this time? I don't think so. Okay, no public comment. New business adoption of minutes from July 21st meeting. And they were sent to us via email. And thank you to your office for doing that. Thank you over there.
Stacy.
And so we just need a motion to adopt the minutes or additions or corrections as necessary.
I move we adopt the minutes as distributed.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so the minutes are adopted as presented. Okay, so we'll go right into our public hearing tonight. We have one case, which is case number A0826-1, Priscilla Joseph, care of Trevor Yao, appeal of zoning decision. Trevor Yao, on behalf of property owner Priscilla Joseph, appeals a determination of the planning and zoning administrator dated June 10th, 2026, denying a request for an additional extension of a temporary housing permit issued pursuant to Article 15B2 of the Madison County zoning ordinance. So, Mr. Yao, I see you're in the front row. Do you just want to fill everybody in on the details? We've seen the paperwork here. I think everybody's gone through it, and just need to know your, this, most everything we hear is a result of some form of hardship. So, just need you to tell us a little bit about what your hardship is.
Certainly, just a moment, we'll grab your microphone. You're recorded also, so probably we can't hear you.
It's either that or you got to stand up there. You're right, you're fine right there, since the only one here. I could.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, great ahead.
So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for being here and taking the time out of your day to hear my case. I also want to thank the zoning office. Alan and Stacy have been very helpful through this process. And as you all may know, we have ran into a couple hardships, as you said. Primarily with the land division that's required to secure our building permit. The bank that my grandmother is actually my grandmother-in-law, it's Priscilla.
Okay,
So the idea is that we'll live on the same lot together so, we can take care of her in her older age. So she has already constructed a house on the lot with a mortgage on it. And so when we started exploring the ideas of doing the land division, the bank that she had a mortgage with, Wells Fargo, became involved. And there was a lot of paperwork to be collected and submitted to them, which took quite a long time. And so we waited to hear their decision on what's called a partial lien release. So what they do is they free up some of the capital on the loan so that they can cut out the new acreage. Well, after some time had passed, we heard that they denied the request for a bunch of banking reasons that I didn't really quite understand. And then speaking with the bank that's going to be doing my construction loan about what our options could be from there, his recommendation then was to do a refinance on the entire lot of her house, less the 3 acres. And so in doing that, the 3 acres would be free and clear and then transferable to my wife Francesca and myself so that we could then submit our building permits. So where we're at now is all the paperwork for the refinance is complete, and the application for the land division has been submitted for approval by the county. We heard today the last piece we're waiting for was the Department of Health. We finally got their approval, and so from here we're just waiting for the county to finish that division. Once the deed is drawn up, then we can take that to the closing. Priscilla can do her closing and simultaneously deed over the lot to us.
right.
So once that happens, the same bank that's doing our construction loan, they already have our information. They're ready to go. We're pre-approved for our building, our construction loan, and The plans for my house are already complete. We've already selected the contractor, and they do have a signed contract in hand. So they're just waiting for the thumbs up from us that the subdivision has been completed and that it's in our name so that they can formally submit their building permits on our behalf.
Right. So your 3-acre lot you're talking about is that corner that's split off here on the plat?
I'm sorry?
We have this plat here.
Yes, sir, yeah.
So
That's
it's
the
this 3 acres down here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Is it up behind me? Okay,
Oh, we can't see it then.
yeah.
It's finicky.
It's finicky.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to clarify that. So your grandma-in-law's house is on the larger tract then?
Yes.
And your goal is to build on the 3-acre parcel that you're talking about is the subdivision, and
Yeah.
so essentially you're refinancing it to get it off of her larger tract.
Yeah, initially, when we were exploring the idea, we kind of ran into a hiccup with the way that the subdivision is written for the county, because this lot was originally a 60-acre tract, and it was divided 4 ways.
Right?
And so, the 4 and 10 rule, we were curious to see if that applied in this scenario. So that took some time to get an answer with that. I understand I had to meet with the county attorney and some back and forth there, but they obviously decided that it didn't apply in
Okay.
in case of a family division. So
Okay.
it's just been one thing after another, and all through this time, I have 3-year-old twins and a 5-year-old, so time is at a premium. And Francesca's grandfather unfortunately passed away in May. He had some complications. He was living there with Priscilla. He had Parkinson's disease, so there's been quite a lot going on, and I didn't foresee all this becoming as big as it had. Hindsight's 20/20, as they say. And
Sure.
I think from the beginning, what we should have done is went ahead before Priscilla had built her house and went ahead and done the division right out of the gate. So,
Well, it's one of those things, most people don't do divisions and build houses and go get mortgages and loans and everything. You don't do it every day, so
Right.
you don't know the ins and outs
Yeah.
and what you have to navigate. It gets to be more challenging all the
Yes.
time.
so again, I think the county has a great ordinance in place that allows folks to live in a temporary situation. We're in what's called a park model RV, so it doesn't really look like an RV from the outside. It's basically like a half of a single wide, so it's got like siding on it and everything. We're quickly outgrowing it, as you can imagine, with the kids getting bigger. So we're ready to be out of this thing as soon as we can break ground
Sure.
and get things rolling.
Alan, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I do. I would like to say that in this case, let me get my notes here. The issue before the board today is not whether the extension of the temporary housing permit would be appropriate as a matter of policy, but rather whether I, as the zoning administrator, correctly interpreted and implied the ordinance as the facts presented. This is an appeal of the decision that I made to revoke the temporary housing permit as it was issued. The timeline for this case is in your packet, and I'm happy to go through that if you like. If you have read it and understand it, there's no need. But the nature of this appeal is that I was incorrect in denying the extension here. And so the basis of this would be to presumably read the ordinance as written and see if it was correctly applied in the denial of this extension.
Right.
I have a question
Go
for
right ahead.
Mr.
Yeah,
Yao.
Jump in.
Where were you living before all of this began?
We had a house in Malvern.
Okay.
Anybody else have questions? to the audience, any questions, comments, anybody else? Okay, back to the BZA then. So what you're saying, I mean, I understand what you did, and I think it appears to me that you, by the letter of the ordinance, did the correct thing. But is it in our authority then, the way you address that, to say that, give Trevor another 6 months because of his hardship? Or I'm wondering what, the way you phrased your comments there, how you want us to act. I'm not saying how you want us to act. Please frame it.
So in this particular case, we had inquiry from Mr. Yao, the appellant, to back in the fall of 2024 on what the requirements were for a temporary housing permit.
Right.
Mr. Yao expressed to the county administrator, then acting as the interim zoning administrator, what those requirements would be, what that would look like. When I took my role here in September of '24, that fell to my office. We continued that conversation about what those requirements were.
Right.
And so Mr. Yao was informed of what the policy was in granting these permits. Sometime later, which would have been in November of 2025, so a year had passed, and we came to learn that the park model RV had been placed on the property and no permit had been issued. So between we had inquiry on what was involved and when we found that the property was occupied in a temporary manner without a permit, a year had elapsed. So at that time, we reached out, with a notice of violation letter. Mr. Yao's been exceedingly cooperative and polite throughout the process. It's been very nice to work with. And he did come in and apply for the temporary housing permit, which we issued.
Right.
However, the ordinance requires that before the temporary housing permit is issued, that all of the relevant permits be in place to build the house before we issue the permit. In this case, we made it an accommodation because those things were not in place.
Right.
But in order to not uproot Mr. Yao's family, we imposed what the ordinance allows for, which is a reasonable condition. Ordinance allows for the zoning administrator to impose reasonable conditions as a part of the permit. So we gave a period of time in which you said, okay, it's in the notes somewhere, but let's say it was 3 months.
Right.
That we said.
Yeah, I saw that in the notes.
And when we got near the end of the 3 months and we did not have building plans or permits, Mr. Yao reached out before the expiration deadline and said, hey, I need a little more time. And so we granted that additional time. And we modified the temporary housing permit to include another extension. So when we came to the end of that permit period and an additional extension was requested, at that point, it was my decision that we were outside of the scope of what the ordinance was intended to do. Because if it's intended to have your permits in place, be ready to go, the health department's happy, the building officials got the plans in front of them, zoning's done, then there's no reason not to issue this permit. We had already made 2 accommodations. The property had already been occupied for an unknown period of time before we even got the permit, despite the knowledge that the permit was required. And so I denied the request to extend the permit further. With that being said, I do know that Mr. Yao is going forward with his plans to build still. And so I would not be opposed to, if all of the criteria were met tomorrow, if he came to my office tomorrow and said, hey, here's the subdivision done, here's my zoning permit, here's my building permit, here's everything together, I would gladly issue another temporary housing permit with all of the criteria met, just not to string it along indefinitely, while unknown issues were, left to be resolved. So I would ask the Board of Zoning Appeals to uphold my original decision to revoke the temporary housing permit. Certainly that is your authority to choose whatever you want, but that is how we got to where we are today.
But if we did that, then he'd be back at square one and reapply again?
He would have to reapply for another temporary housing permit,
Right.
which I would only accept once he has all of his permits in place to build the new home.
How close are you to having all your permits in place?
I would say, depending on how fast the land division is complete and how long it takes for the courts to file the deed, we have to do a closing at Jeff Early's office, deed it over to us, and then we're ready to go. So I'm kind of timid to put a time on it because I've clearly been wrong on a lot of these things for this process as far as time limits and things go. So,
Well, you know, I'm just thinking back to some cases that I know that we work with some people. It wasn't in this specific type of a situation where you had, you know, a deadline to do things, but there were, you know, I'm thinking of Hank Williams, you know, where, you know, he had a deadline and he just wanted to keep extending for different things, and we here said, okay, but you got till here to get it done, you know, and you know, you definitely, you know, you've got the ball rolling and in the middle of the process, and I think Alan has been more than agreeable too, and how he's tried to apply what he has there to work with, and it's something that you're going to get done. So it's just a matter of how to help you get it done and still follow the rules.
yes, sir.
At least that's my opinion. I don't, everybody jump in whenever you want.
Yeah, Alan's been more than accommodating through the process, and he even told me verbally, if you run into hiccups, you know, just keep me in the loop and we'll do what we can to help you stay where you're at as
Yeah.
much as he can. And so, again, I appreciate it.
But, you know, I remember that the particular case I'm talking about, you know, he came in a couple different times and we finally had to, you know, give us some guidelines and give him a limit. And I don't remember without looking up exactly how that all shook out, but, you know, he was trying to get to a point that he could accomplish his goal, you know, and it's kind of, that's the way I look at this, is you've got a goal and you've just been strung along with all the legal issues that involve what you didn't realize was going to happen. And I'm just kind of in myself trying to figure out the cleanest way to do what we might do.
Have you
Go
been
ahead.
provided a closing date yet? I know that you said it's kind of pending, but have you been given like a tentative one?
We had a closing date, but that got pushed when the land division was not complete.
Right,
So the biggest holdup was the Department of Health.
that's done, correct?
That was done, yeah, we both actually reached out today unknowingly, and that was the push, I guess they needed to send it back, so.
So
they-
the health department has signed off on it then?
Yes, sir. So, yeah, as far as I understand, once we have a day that the lot is gonna be blessed off by the county, then we can go back to the bank and say, we're ready to do closing. So, I mean, they have everything from Priscilla that they need to do the closing, except that one piece, which is the deed of the little 3 acres chunked out.
So y'all living in the RV now on the property that
Yeah,
your grandmother-in-law owns?
yes.
It feels like a clean start. It feels like we end this now and let him restart, rather than an extension on that permit.
Well, and it's, yeah, well, I agree. You've got to get to a point that you call it like it is, and
Yes, right.
we just have to clean it up and start over. Is the problem is just how to, well, we need to do that because of how it's impacting the ordinance and the way the ordinance is written and the way Alan has interpreted the ordinance. But what I'm thinking is, if we take that kind of action, does he meet the requirements to live in that RV on his grandmother-in-law's bigger lot until the subdivision is done? Know what I'm asking? How do you address that?
I know what you're asking. And as I'm sure I hope hope to have demonstrated that we make reasonable accommodations
Sure.
along the way. So if you, and I hope that you'll take just a minute and read that little paragraph of an ordinance before you decide. It does say on the same parcel. I will say that with the subdivision in play here and with it being Family Grand, I think that it's reasonably within the intent of the ordinance not to have to relocate that from one
Right.
parcel to the one he wants to
Right,
build on.
right.
It's already, the health department already has it approved into the drain field that's there. Those things are proper. There's no reason to make Mr. Yao move
Move
it
it.
if he has reissued a new temporary housing permit.
Right.
It can stay where it is while he does construction. My only reservation, let's say, and what I am thinking in my head how to unpack, should you choose to vote and say that my decision was wrong and you find in favor of the appellant, how we navigate that going forward with others and on what basis the decision should have been made differently.
Right.
So in reading the ordinance, I'm hoping that if you choose to vote in favor of the appellant, that you would offer a statement of guidance on how the ordinance read and how it should have been administered differently.
Well, I appreciate the way you answered my question. You told me
Sorry.
what I wanted to hear. You did, you did answer what I wanted to hear. Because, I think you did the right thing in how you addressed the situation that as it was presented to you, but I don't want to make it a hardship for Trevor because he's getting stuff in order to get done what we've always wanted to be the end result. So, as long as that's doable, just so Trevor understands, if we deny your application for appeal, it's not because we don't want you to get it done. We just need to recorrect, kind of back up since it's strung out so long, if that makes sense. Because I understand your concern too, Alan, and just the interpretation of the ordinance and where you progress with it on down the road, because there will be other requests for something similar, I'm sure. That's my thoughts. I mean, y'all feel free to.
I would make a motion
Okay.
to deny the appeal that the zoning administrator applied the ordinance correctly. And then we send it back to you is sort of my sense that we, a fresh start with the temporary.
process.
Yes, the whole process.
He has a path for a new application. I will take it as long as everything else is not. We talked about it.
Do you understand what we're doing here, Trevor? I think you do.
More or less.
Okay. Okay, that's the motion presented on the floor by Ms. Long. Is there a second to the motion? Or further comment?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded that the request for appeal be denied, with the understanding that there's a path in place for Mr. Yao to proceed. Is that open enough?
Oh, yes, that's
Okay.
I will take a new application.
Yes. Okay. Okay, that's the motion on the floor. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, so the motion for appeal is denied, but you need to get with him. Yeah,
Yeah, so this was, this was a strategy that Alan and I had come up with. And as a way to buy myself some more time, and that I didn't think we were gonna make it to this actual day, but again, the hardships, that presented themselves, so, but the extra time that was earned while we awaited the hearing here, has been very helpful, and we got a lot of things done that we needed to do, and so we're getting some more
Super.
answers, and,
Good.
again, I appreciate you guys taking the time to come and,
well,
talk through this.
I think it's clear the lesson learned is get your subdivision done first.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But like I say, if you're not in the house building business or the lot making business, you don't know the process. That's why we have those attorneys down the road that do all that stuff. So, well, good luck on it, Trevor.
Thank you.
I don't think Alan's gonna be too hard on you. I'm just kidding. That's sarcasm, that's sarcasm.
Try to be reasonable.
I know.
We know,
We
we
expect for
know.
you to be.
That's right.
Thank you, Trevor. Okay, the other item of old business is a review and potential adoption of BZA bylaws. Thanks, Trevor. Anybody have any comments or, I read through the draft as presented and I didn't see any issues. I don't know. Suzanne,
Well,
did you see
thank you
anything?
again for the work on the bylaws. Much
Yes.
appreciated. So I'm back to my thing that I had the last time, and I see it addressed. And I just want to clarify in my own head, if there's only 3 of us sitting up here, we have to be in agreement for something to move forward.
That is correct. The majority of the body has to vote in favor, so you need at least 3, no matter how many of you are sitting up there.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
I think that's the reason. It wasn't it that we had to have the alternates? Isn't that what
Yeah, I
happened?
think that's right, right.
We didn't have alternates until that issue came up
That's
one
right.
time.
I think that's correct.
That's the way I interpreted that part of the bylaws. Is that correct? It's got to be at least 3.
Having an alternate most certainly makes it easier to stay in compliance with what the state code requires.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And also a good idea to have more people look at something.
Oh, sure, sure,
bet.
sure. Okay, any other questions about the proposed draft for bylaws?
No,
Do we need to send this to anybody else? Like Board of Supervisors or Circuit Court to review it after we say yes or no?
I've sent it to the county attorney,
Yes.
and we got his comments back that have been adopted here.
incorporated.
At your instruction, of course. And so, I am not an attorney, and I did not ask that specific question, whether it needs to go to somebody else. If you want to let it sit on the back burner, I will ask that question if it needs to go anybody else. Again, not an attorney, but my suspicion is that you are free to adopt your bylaws.
Probably true.
Probably are. But we don't have Sarah here tonight. I think it would be good if we were, all the sitting members were present to vote on it.
I mean, we've been how many years?
Yeah. 30, how long is it, 30 years?
If we're gonna table them, can we get clarification on if they need to go to the BOS or circuit court or
If you
anything?
choose not to act tonight, then I'm going to go and figure that out, yes.
Okay.
And my apologies for not thinking to do that earlier.
You've only
We're-
done everything else, so.
The
Exactly.
planning commission adopts their own bylaws, so does the board of supervisors. I have no reason to think that this body is going to
Okay.
handle that any differently.
Right,
Right.
But it seems totally reasonable to wait for everybody to be
sure,
here.
sure.
And there's no reason why I can't ask that question
Okay.
anytime.
Okay. Okay, to make it formal, we just need a motion for tabling till the next meeting.
I move that we table the adoption of the bylaws until the next meeting, when
Until
we have
a full
everybody
board-
here.
Until we have a full board here, okay? Is there a second to Ms. Long's?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the only other item on the agenda tonight is Sarah's reappointment. I guess we just need to act on that as a recommendation.
I did reach out to Member Wills,
Mm-hmm.
and she did state that she wished to continue for another term.
Yes.
You all
Good,
wish to
good.
see her do so. And so I think that even in her absence, it's appropriate if you guys choose to move on a recommendation. It would be, we don't always meet every month. And
Sure.
so knowing your wishes, it would be nice to get that process moving
Sure.
forward to make sure that we can get appointments and judges' signatures and those things in the works.
Sure,
Does that mean a motion?
yes.
So I will make said motion to recommend
Ask
Sarah.
that Sarah be
Ask
reappointed
that Sarah be reappointed, please,
by the circuit court.
please.
Okay?
I
Sounds
second
lovely.
that.
Okay, it's been moved, probably seconded, that we ask the circuit court to reappoint Sarah Wills to our board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so if you would let her know for me.
I'm happy to do that.
Thank you, Alan. Okay, any public comment that we haven't already had? Charles, anything to add? Get your hand raised and say I do. They will make you official. Yeah, it does. Okay, any other comment, any other business for the board tonight? Hearing none, we just need a motion for adjournment.
So moved to
Is there a second?
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
I don't think I have any cases for you next month.
Good, because I think I'm gonna be out of town, so.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking, oh, we
But
need a full
don't do
board,
it.
and I'm,
right.
oh, good.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's a concert. Either way, I wasn't gonna be here, so.
No, it doesn't matter. We can always bump it down the road again.
I know,
Do
that's
what
what
you
I
need to
would've-
do.